Malema is guilty of hate speech. I just received the wonderful news from our legal team that they were successful in the case against Malema and the EFF in the High Court of Cape Town. This victory ushers in a new era where we can finally establish ourselves as a true alternative for the Afrikaner people. Despite the challenges, we must fight them everywhere. We cannot give them an inch. Our next battle in this war is the Expropriation Without Compensation Act, where they want to take the private property of our people and break the will of our nation. We will not let it happen. We have assembled an A-team of lawyers and advocates, the same legal representatives that was on this case, like Millie Wesley and Advocate Roelof du Plessis, that was successful in the 2011 case against Malema and the ANC, where he won the case with cost, but at last AfriForum settled the case and put aside the High Court ruling. I want to pledge to you today that we as a true alternative for the Afrikaner people will never settle. We will never fall back, and we will never compromise the future of our people for our own gain. Walk with us, give us your support, and finally we may prove ourselves as a true alternative and a new hope for our people.
You won't believe this. Julius Malema, he has been found guilty of hate speech. Can you believe this? Now we're waiting for the court to decide his sentence. The leader of the EFF, the man who has said that he has been fighting for the South African people, he has now been branded as a hate monger, all because of what he said in the 2022 rallies. Here's the thing, the people, they do not care. They're celebrating him. They're saying that the court is afraid of the truth. They're saying that Julius Malema only speaks the truth and he cannot hide his truth. In fact, some of his supporters, they're saying that Julius Malema is being silenced for speaking the truth. Imagine that. They're saying in South Africa, if you speak the truth, you will definitely be judged, you will be jailed because of speaking the truth. That's just crazy. The stuff that Julius Malema says, they've caused a lot of trouble, not just for him, even for the president of South Africa. Remember when the president of South Africa, he went to America, to the White House, and Donald Trump, he confronted him. He started saying things that Julius Malema said. He even played a video of Julius Malema. Imagine that. And now it seems like that influence has led him to a big trouble. But here's my big question. Is Julius Malema telling the truth, or is he spreading hate speech?
Watching News at Prime, let's bring you this now, and it is one of our leading stories. EFF leader Julius Malema has been found guilty of hate speech by the Western Cape Equality Court. This ruling follows the remarks he made during a rally. This was in October of 2022, 2 years after the party clashed with residents at the Brackenfell High School. In his ruling, Judge Mark Scher found that Malema's statements demonstrated a clear intention to incite harm and promote hatred. He said Malema violated the Equality Act. Let's get some reaction now, and we are joined by Anton Haber, Director at the Campaign for Free Expression. Mr. Haber, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. First, let's start with your reaction to this court ruling.
Yes, well, thank you very much and good evening. Let me say that my concern is that there doesn't seem to be any consistency in the rulings of what is hate speech and what isn't. And that is what comes through. You know, Mr. Malema was found not guilty of hate speech when he sang "Kill the Boer." Then a few weeks ago, there was a finding that when he was called a cockroach, the person who did that, Kenny Kuneni, was guilty of hate speech. And now Mr. Malema is himself found guilty of hate speech for something that seems to me to be less serious than singing "Kill the Boer." So what strikes me is that we don't have a consistency. You know, there needs to be a very clear threat of hurt or harm as a result of a statement of this kind. And I think we have to look closely at whether that is the case, or whether it just isn't speech that may be ugly, that may be unpleasant, that may be inappropriate, but whether it's hate speech is another question. Because if we're not clear about what is or isn't hate speech, then it will infringe on people's right to speak strongly in the political sphere.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yes. South African occupy land. That's who we are. Honorable members, what to do? Can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament?
Honorable. For us, and when it comes to the issues of arresting anyone for any slogan, that is a sovereign issue. It's not a matter where we need to be instructed by anyone that go and arrest this one. We are a very proud sovereign country that has its own laws, that has its own processes, and we take into account what the Constitutional Court also decided when it said that, you know, that slogan, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, is a liberation chant and slogan. And it's not meant to be a message that elicits or calls upon anyone to go and be killed. And that is what our court decided. So they will probably want to arrest people willy-nilly. We follow the dictates of our constitution because we are a constitutional state and we are a country where freedom of expression is the bedrock of our constitutional arrangements.
You went to a school here to protest the other time and you were beaten by white people. And there is a white man who's visible on camera. If I were to ask you, what have you done in terms of follow-up after being beaten by that white guy? Why have you not, as a revolutionary organization, followed up on that guy, him alone, to check that guy in an isolated space and attend to the guy properly? What type of revolutionaries get beaten and they don't have a follow-up? And then they pride themselves of being beaten and they repeat videos of themselves being beaten, and we must vote for them because they were beaten by a white man that they've never followed up on the same white man that has beaten them up. Tell that white man to try me. I'll come many times here in Western Cape appearing a court case because no white man is going to beat me up and call myself a revolutionary the following day. You must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Why did Mandela take up a gun? He was the first soldier of Mkhonto Wesizwe. Why did he take up a gun? Was he taking a gun to distribute roses? He took up a gun because the revolution had reached a point where there is no longer an alternative but to kill.